welcome to TMZ Live. Spencer Pratt got an endorsement from the most powerful person in America today, and it doesn't seem like it is a particularly sought-out endorsement.
And it's very strange because we saw last night, the person we're talking about, that endorsement came from President Trump. We're going to play it for you in just a second. Keep in mind that President Trump's endorsement helped a whole slew of candidates last night win elections.
I would argue differently. I would argue that President Trump's decision not to endorse certain people guaranteed their defeat. It wasn't even...
Certainly, because
you know
they were
what I mean?
primaries.
It
Yes,
wasn't
I know
even
what
so
you're
much
saying.
that he
Yes,
liked
they were
the other guy.
primaries. Yeah.
He didn't like the guy that he felt
As
wasn't
promised,
loyal
he
to him.
primaried people.
He did, and he won.
And
he
it worked out.
Boom.
So, why wouldn't Spencer Pratt enjoy hearing this from the president this morning?
Spencer Pratt, do you see yourself in him at all? A former reality TV star?
No, I'd like to see him do well. He's a character. I don't know him. I assume he probably supports me. Does he support me?
So?
I hope so, yeah. I heard he does. I heard he's a big MAGA person. He's doing well.
Okay,
Yeah.
I heard he's a big MAGA person. He's doing well. So that might work in a ruby red state, but in California, and in
California's
particular
different.
Los Angeles,
Yes.
it ain't ruby red. It ain't ruby red by many, many shades. And so Spencer Pratt is walking a tightrope here because I don't think it's going to do him any favors that Donald Trump is endorsing him because Donald Trump says he is a MAGA supporter. Now, Spencer has never said that.
I don't think we've ever seen Spencer
He's
wearing a
never
MAGA
said
hat.
it. Never said it.
Yeah.
But I texted
So
him.
after we saw that, you got on the horn with
I texted him.
Spencer.
And I said, Trump says he wants you to succeed. Any comment? Neutral.
Yeah.
He
You
said,
sent it right. You did not load that up at all, which is different for you.
excuse me.
As you
I
tend
do not
to
lead
load,
the witness.
You tend to load up questions, but okay.
He says, everybody wants me to succeed. Everybody. Because LA is the most important city in the country. Deflection.
That is
so I
a
say,
very political answer.
So I say, you're good. What about Trump supporting you? And he answers, the only support I need is from moms that want to feel safe in Los Angeles. I'm laser focused on that.
Another deflection.
But also
Another deflection.
and smart, and smart.
And brilliant, because this could be a death knell to his campaign, because not only is an endorsement from Trump bad, it will be utilized by his enemies. Karen Bass will run ads on this. Nithya Raman will run ads
Already
and
happened.
say, you want to elect someone here in blue?
already
It's
happened.
already happened.
Yeah.
They didn't get an ad together, but they did the next best thing, which is ran to social media. Nithya Raman posted this saying, quoting President Trump, I heard he's a big MAGA person. So she was retweeting a Fox News tweet where they were talking about what the president said about
So the weird
Spencer
thing is
Pratt.
Fox News is saying, hey, this is a great thing.
Right.
Spencer Pratt knows the drill.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want right now in Los Angeles. And, you know, Raman may be saying that, but I don't know that that card really works anymore.
Not when you haven't seen Spencer
Exactly.
actually
Exactly.
doing
but
it.
that's the
because
point.
people will see through the fact that, let's be honest,
That's the point.
reason
But-
President Trump gave that endorsement, if you want to call it this, the soft endorsement, he gave it to him, is only because, and you heard him say it, I would only give him the endorsement because he supports
Because he
me.
likes
and
me.
he says, I heard he's
I
MAGA.
heard, right.
But then shouldn't he not walk a tightrope and just sort of disavow himself from the Trump? Shouldn't
Why would
he?
you? If you were
Because he
running-
doesn't need his loyalty. He doesn't need those votes.
If
He
you were
needs to shore
running,
up-
would you do that? Would you say, I do not want to? Would you say that?
Would you say,
I think
Donald
walking
Trump?
this
No.
tightrope only adds fuel to Karen Bass and others saying, listen, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a MAGA guy versus
Spencer
us.
Pratt is politically adept. The answer he gave, as far as I'm concerned, was perfect.
Yeah.
It's
We'll
exactly what he
see.
should have
We'll
said.
see whether this hurts him or doesn't.
I don't think it's going to hurt him.
I think it drives voters for Karen Bass to go out and say, we can't have someone who is MAGA certified
never
in
done
this
any-
office.
But he's
done-
never done anything to say that he's MAGA.
He's very hard on homelessness. He has a lot of the same values
hard
as
on
Donald
homelessness is not MAGA.
His
Hard on homelessness is not MAGA.
he is not for the most humane sort of treatment of this problem, and that will resonate with people who want to build up housing and things of that nature. He's saying they're all criminals, they're mentally ill, and let's lock them up.
There is a big difference between the left saying that they're not homeless, but they have options to live on the street, and if they do, let them be. And MAGA, there's a huge divide.
There's a gulf there.
Spencer is not saying Spencer's saying I'm not on that side, and he's never saying I'm on that side. He's somewhere here.
He's closer to Trump on that issue than he is to Karen and Nithya.
You know what?
And maybe that's fine. Maybe that will help him.
If you're
didn't help Rick Caruso.
You know what? If you're right, I think a lot of people are kind of done with the way politicians are handling the homeless crisis.
Weren't they done with it when Rick Caruso ran against Karen Bass?
Rick Caruso was a whole different thing.
It was a single issue candidate.
It wasn't. It was a whole thing with audio that came out from City Hall. Come on, it's a whole different thing. Spencer's smart. This impresses me. This impresses me.
He played it right.
He really did. He did. And,
I think it'll hurt him.
Whether it helps him enough on June 2nd, we'll see.
I think in a way it helps him because for people who are wondering, is he just going to jump in Trump's support? He didn't.
Do you think he wishes it happened or didn't happen? That's my question. That Trump said this or not? Obviously, his answer seems to be
I think because of his answer, it helps Spencer.
I think what he did best here is that he knows that the president saying this is going to get a lot of attention, and he used that attention to talk about the issue that he wants to say he's laser focused on that.
Yep.
Anna from San Diego, and I agree. I think it's marketing genius. At the end of the day, it's not about Spencer or Trump. Trump loves Trump. At the end of the day, it could be the president of Zimbabwe. If he supports MAGA, Trump will support him. So the bigger issue here is what's happening in LA, the homelessness, the robberies, and all the issues that we had with the fires that were being misled by Karen Bass herself. And she is qualified, but yet disqualified for all the things that she's done throughout the years. So regardless if Spencer has the qualifications or not, we should give him a chance and see. And you're right. We don't know if he's a Democrat or Republican, and it really doesn't matter. Look what's happening in LA, and people do care about that.
Yeah, but what you said something in passing that really bugs me. To say, regardless of whether he's qualified or not, you got to give him a chance. I think you got to
Qualification does matter.
It matters. It matters. I'm not saying he is or isn't, but that should matter.
Travel influencer Gabbie Gonzalez made her first appearance in court after her arrest in the alleged murder for hire plot, a plot to kill the father of her child, according to police. That's her there behind the glass, and she did not enter a plea yet, but her bail was set at $2 million. Her father also being held and still in custody. We don't know what his bail is going to be set at. I'd imagine the same $2 million. They're charged with the same crime. But in addition to that, we got some video now of an FBI raid. Remember, this is currently...
Can I stop you for a second? Is the father charged in California? Because I know he lived
in California. He was arrested in Florida, but he'd be charged. The warrant they picked him up was from California. So we got video of an FBI raid. While this is now an LA, a local LA County case, this started out as an FBI investigation. And back in 2022, they actually went to Gabbie's home and tore up the place looking for any digital evidence of what they believed was this murder for hire plot. So this video, you're going to hear her then husband, a guy named Cody Claiborne, and he shows up at the house when the raid is already in progress. He's clearly confused.
You have any guns on you? Okay. We're FBI? Stop. We have the scene.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I talk to my wife?
We can arrange that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, please step back. You're good. All right. We can arrange that, man. You can't come up here charging.
Okay, you have to understand. I just don't know what's going on. I just came up from work. Heard that you guys were here.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
I just want to make sure she's okay.
That's fine. She's okay. She is not in handcuffs. She's talking to people up there right now. Okay. So right now we have, like I said, we have a search warrant. We can see that it was signed by a judge. All right. We have people inside that just need to document everything. So we need to make sure that you don't have anything on us that can hurt us there.
I have nothing. Yeah,
All
I just
right.
came from work.
That's fine.
So
So he doesn't know.
he has no idea what's going on.
And we now know he had no idea
He told
what
us
she had allegedly done.
that was
Yeah, so we spoke to him, and so like you
Dakota,
guys said,
yeah.
so he had no idea until this happened. Gabbie came out, gave him some kind of BS answer of what was going on. Eventually, obviously, he was interviewed by detectives, figured out the scope of what was going on
they're divorced.
here.
They are
so
now divorced, yeah.
weirdly, they had a wedding ceremony. They were never legally married.
Ah,
But yes,
got
they
it.
are split
They
now.
split
They
up,
are no
yeah.
longer. He posted yesterday on Instagram her mugshot and said karma. So yes, they're no longer together.
Oh, so
hard feelings.
Yes, I
Hard
would
feelings.
imagine so.
doesn't seem like you want. It's not a good place to be having hard feelings with
It-
Gabbie, according to
no.
police.
It
anyway.
is just remarkable to me, and I don't understand it, and I'm sure there's an answer. How they could do the raid in 2022. This thing was allegedly hatched in 2021, and she doesn't get arrested until this week.
But the
This-
weirdest
we
thing,
still don't
Harvey, is that
understand
now
this.
we know the timeline. So the undercover cop that was allegedly speaking to the dad, that was supposedly the hitman, that happened in 2021. So they had all this information all the way back then, and for whatever reason, the FBI didn't think they had
So weird.
enough on him, so that's why it got kicked to LA.
He's to LA, and now LA is following through. The person I still want to hear from, and we've been trying to reach him, is Jack Avery.
is the guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Avery.
Because he was kind of dealing with her after he knew that
Well,
she had
they were
allegedly
dealing
done
with
this.
all the custody. They
I
have
know,
a child
but he was
together.
saying she's a great mom and everything else, aside from the fact that she wants to kill me.
That's definitely changed because after this, he filed a restraining order against her. He's trying to get full
right,
custody.
but
we
he
should just
knew, and
remember-
then he was okay with her.
yeah.
There
Yeah.
is, well,
Weird.
he was saying he was okay
least
with her.
publicly.
We don't know if he actually was. So they have a 7-year-old daughter together. The daughter is now with Jack.
That's what we're being
Yeah.
told. Because originally the daughter was with Gabbie when
she got arrested.
She was
Yeah.
arrested. So yes, she's now with the father.
Comedian Mr. Banks shot Atlanta, Georgia. Imagine being the new boyfriend and finding out your current girlfriend has a murder for hire plot going on. You're running for the hills and you're doing whatever you can to distance yourself from that. And for some reason, people really think that they're criminal masterminds while walking around with an evidence brick in their pocket. I'm talking about your cell phone.
Yeah.
People think that when you delete something off your phone that is permanently deleted. And you allegedly brought family into it. To me, that just gives investigators a tighter circle to look into. And the fact that you have a $2 million bond, you better figure out how to sell some commissary on TikTok Shop because you are going to need it.
Yeah, that ain't gonna fly.
It's good advice.
Coming up.
Well, a lot of people who love to light up marijuana are going to be very happy about some news coming out of TSA. Now, you can travel with medical marijuana. So what does this mean now for travelers? And how is this actually going to work with TSA?
Be right back.
Well, a lot of people who love to light up marijuana are going to be very happy about some news coming out of TSA.
Quietly, by the way.
Very quietly. They actually changed this last month, but now you can travel with medical marijuana. It can be in your carry-on, it can also be in your checked luggage.
This was a huge deal where that TSA, if they found it, they would pull you aside. You would probably miss your flight. You could lose if you have TSA pre-check. You lose TSA pre. There were all sorts of consequences.
And the
to this.
issue here is that while marijuana is legal in about half of the states now, it is not legal federally, medical or recreational.
Although Donald Trump has now classified it, so it's
Schedule 3.
So it's not like a heroin or cocaine anymore, which was ridiculous.
Kind of at the same level as Tylenol now.
Right,
But,
right.
So how is this actually going to work with TSA? Because how do they know what kind of marijuana you have? So joining us right now, someone who is on the front lines of the battle to legalize marijuana federally. Sean Hauser works at the Vicente LLP. It's a national cannabis law firm, and she is joining us now. Sean, welcome to TMZ Live.
Thank you for having me. No, I'm excited to be here and excited to be here on, really the other side of prohibition. We finally, after, decades of working to overturn marijuana's outrageous classification in Schedule 1, which is no medical use, the most dangerous drugs in the country, by design by President Nixon in the drug war. The medical marijuana is now federally legal for in the United States, in states where cannabis is legal under state license programs.
But the big thing here is that you can travel with it if you have some kind of a medical justification. And I know a lot of people who were afraid to fly to Mexico or anywhere. And then what they end up doing is they end up buying it from a stranger in a foreign land. Who knows? It could be laced with fentanyl or anything else. So this, I mean, even though it's just a TSA regulation, in a way could be life-saving.
But her point is, because TSA, just to be clear about this, Sean, it's not just that it's allowed in TSA. You're saying medical marijuana is now federally legal, correct?
Yeah, it's a federally legal Schedule III substance, and it's now, travelers and really often veterans, seniors living with pain, cancer patients who rely on medical marijuana as a part of their daily care, like you said, have been forced to feel like criminals or get cannabis on the black market because out of fear of traveling and facing law enforcement for their medicine. So what the TSA did is bring federal practice in line with the law, now Schedule III, and common sense. Medical marijuana is legal and patients can travel without fear. And TSA has reiterated that its mission, its purpose is aviation security, not enforcing state and federal or state drug laws. So if marijuana is identified during a screening, it's referred to local law enforcement, and where state licensed medical cannabis is legal, which to your point is in over half the country, it's legal.
But wait a minute, if you're saying that it's just legal federally, why would TSA say if you have a medical certificate as opposed to just saying you can bring it on?
Especially in checked, that's if you're in your carry-on, but if it's in your checked luggage.
But why does it have to be a medical marijuana as opposed to just marijuana if it's legal? I don't understand that.
Only medical marijuana has been rescheduled to Schedule III. There will be a hearing in June to consider the rescheduling of recreational marijuana. But right now, medical marijuana is a legal Schedule III substance under the Controlled Substances Act, and patients can legally travel with it as long as they're compliant with their state law.
Well, there's something else, though. If you fly to a place where it's illegal, you can get in big trouble.
Yeah, so the TSA has said that, they're gonna publish some guidance, and the final decision at any checkpoint remains with the officer. So they look to compliance with state law. So it is important to carry your state issued medical card, and that state officer may say, okay, you came from Colorado, you can legally, carry this medical cannabis that's legal in your state. And it's likely not going to be the enforcement priority.
No, but if you go to Spain, for example, and Spain says they outlaw marijuana, you land and you go and they
or
check
pick a state like, I don't know, Georgia or Texas, where it's not. If they don't have medical.
Those are two states now with medical cannabis programs.
But I'm thinking if you go to I think in Mexico, it's weird.
Illegal.
It's illegal in Mexico. So if you fly down to Cabo and they check you, you can get in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. You have to be compliant, with the laws of the state or country in which you're in. So, it's important that patients have their medical cards, make sure they have possessions and amount with state compliance. And then when going outside of the US or going to a state where, cannabis is prohibited under state law, there is risk that a TSA agent or an agent or other country takes action. But the THC, the TSA has made it very clear their priority is safety, not policing legitimate patients. And this comes directly from the Department of Justice's final order and the president's directive making cannabis legal for medical use in America. So, I think the new guidelines will make clear that you can have medical marijuana in your carry-on and checked luggage. There may be special instructions, including what you do if you go to a state where medical marijuana is illegal. But, I think following the federal rescheduling, those states are going to be few and far between. And most states now have legal medical cannabis or cannabis in the form of a hemp program.
Sean, what happens if you're traveling and you put it in your checked luggage? Do you need to inform them at the gate when you're at the check-in counter when you're giving them your luggage that it's in there? Because what happens, I'm just thinking about the process, like I put it in checked luggage and then I get on the plane, but then TSA is going through it and they find the marijuana. How do they know that that is medical marijuana that's been prescribed to me? How would I?
I mean, I would put, I think you can put it in your luggage the same way you may put prescription Xanax, which is, Schedule 4 in your luggage.
But do you
and if a
need
TSA,
to put your prescription in there?
No, I mean, if a TSA agent, looks in your luggage and determines it is their safety priority to go after that medical cannabis, they may ask for evidence of legality. That might be a state medical card, which is the easiest way to show medical marijuana legality, or they may ask for other documentation. Travelers should certainly be aware that the TSA has not published additional guidance and that final decisions at any kind of checkpoint or search still remain with the individual officer. So I think, carrying your state card, knowing the laws of your departure and destination states or countries, and following all instructions, and, keeping within state legal limits for personal use. It's not going to be a safety priority for the TSA, who's focused on, guns and crimes.
If you have a few pounds on you, that's not for medical use. You're still in trouble.
Or you got a big medical problem.
Right.
We really appreciate you coming on, Sean.
Oh, always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thanks again.
All right.
By the way, I think you made a good point that
once you're separated from the luggage,
what you do is you make a photocopy of either the medical marijuana card or a prescription, so it doesn't trigger people who happen to look through your luggage.
Right.
And then
because once you're on the plane, you're separated from your checked luggage.
So if they look and see it and they say, oh, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Coming up.
We got Governor Gavin Newsom in Washington, D.C. Jacob found him coming out of a hearing and asked him about something that I was actually involved in. So Jacob asked him about it today, in addition to asking about the mayor's race.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Megan Thee Stallion adopted a dog.
We rescued a dog. He is so happy.
Can you start rescuing people, man?
It's TMZ.
We got Governor Gavin Newsom in Washington, D.C. Jacob found him coming out of a hearing and asked him about something that I was actually involved in. I know an architect, a really brilliant architect named Dan Brunn, and he put together a group of architects who were going to work for free and help rebuild the Palisades and Altadena.
Right.
And I actually contacted Gavin Newsom and talked to him about it. And Newsom, I will say, he was great. He jumped on it, got a committee together, and the last I had heard, it was sailing.
Moving forward.
The thing is, came back down after the state had it to the city of Los Angeles, and I talked to Dan Brunn, and it died. So Jacob asked him about it today, in addition to asking about the mayor's race.
My boss, Harvey Levin, he spoke with you after the fires, and he came to you about an architect who was going to have this big plan to go to Altadena and Palisades, and you were all for it. You were like, let's do it.
We followed up. I followed up directly with him, and then my team followed up with him.
Absolutely.
And then, by the way, we followed up with a number of other architects as well, including a number that have already built spec homes that are next generation spec homes to deal with the ravages of Mother Nature.
Absolutely. And then when it went to a city level, it failed, this whole plan. So what do you make of that? It's like you were for it. It got to the city under Karen Bass's watch.
Governor of California, not mayor of California. That's not a knock. It's just, I'm as frustrated sometimes. I got 478 cities. Everyone's city council, city managers, and boards of supervisors, and city attorneys, and that's frustrating to me. And we try to do our best to navigate that. And I don't know the details of what specifically may have happened at the local level, but I understand that frustration.
He actually said at the end, "I'm going to find out," and I think he will.
I'm sure he'll find out. But what can he do? I mean, it is out of his hands.
I think if the governor magnifies that,
I mean, other than to put political pressure on people in LA, certainly he could do that.
Let me just do something real quick. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Hey.
It's Harvey and Charles. You're on TMZ Live right now.
Hi, hello.
Hey, so listen, my guy in D.C. talked to Gavin Newsom, and mentioned that I had spoken with Newsom about you, and he was saying, yeah, I had all these people on my staff work with Dan, and Jacob informed him it went down to the city and died. Newsom was surprised. Why did it die in the city?
They said that there's no way for them to proceed with processing the plans this way. Basically, what we're trying to do is get a preliminary plan approved from zoning, and they said they cannot do that unless you supply a complete set of drawings, and that basically made the whole project die.
So you have how many architects doing this?
We have about 100 of us, and
they were going to do it for free. And they were going to do it for free, right?
Yeah, the first stage is all ready to go. We want to get these approved with the zoning, so that the people affected could viably then hire the architects to move this project forward, so that we end up with quality construction in Los Angeles instead of getting these, tract home developers.
Okay, so Newsom was surprised and said he was going to follow up. Do me a favor. Call that point of contact that he gave you and let him know that it died in the city and that Newsom is now aware, okay?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Amazing.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Dan.
Talk soon. Bye.
Oh, there you go. I mean, 100 architects ready to work for free. And the zoning department said, no.
This is
LA City zoning.
red tape.
Coming up.
Bezos has been pretty cozy with President Trump. People have noticed that, and he was questioned about this in this interview, like, what's the deal with the relationship? And Bezos had an interesting critique, or not critique.
It's not a critique.
Not a critique, an interesting take on Trump's second presidency that I'm not sure everyone will agree with.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Jeff Bezos sat down to do an interview today. I'm not sure exactly why. He was talking to CNBC. I'm sure it was about finance, whatever. They did it in the middle of a loud factory, too.
Looks like an Amazon place to me.
Yeah, I'm sure it's an Amazon warehouse factory somewhere. But
he has a beard.
Yeah, he's got a beard now. So the topic of President Trump came up. And ever since the inauguration, people have noticed that Bezos has been... What is Babcock laughing about?
Just keep going.
He's eating, isn't he?
No, it's a private joke.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, Bezos has been pretty cozy with President Trump. People have noticed that. And he was questioned about this in this interview, like, what's the deal with the relationship? And Bezos had an interesting critique, or not critique.
It's not a critique.
Not a critique, an interesting take on Trump's second presidency that I'm not sure everyone will agree with.
You thought that he had mellowed, that he was calmer.
Yeah.
And I'm curious now, here we are.
Yeah, I still think that. And I think he is a more mature, more disciplined version of himself than he was in his first term. We need our business leaders to provide input into the administration. I'm on the side of America. And that is so important. And that's where business leaders should be. I still call Obama for advice. He's a very smart guy. And, and by the way, people that are, Trump has lots of good ideas, and he's been right about a lot of things. You have to give him credit where credit is due.
You know what bugs the crap out of me with that statement?
What?
I'm on the side of America. It's like, there are different versions of what America should be, and to say, okay, I hold...
Well, I think his point was...
No, I know what his point is.
He wants to be close with whoever's in the White House.
There are different versions of what America is.
Because it's better for business, for America's business.
Okay, well, is he on the side of Obama America or Trump America?
He's on the side of his business doing well, and he thinks that...
That's not America, that's Amazon.
Yeah, no, but he's saying that all business leaders should be in touch with the White House, because that's good for America.
What? No, it's good for...
Well, what's good for America's corporations...
Is good for America?
Yeah,
hold on.
To help
the
economy.
There is a big debate over what is good for America's businesses or good
You're
for
right.
America.
But a failing
businesses-
Amazon is not good for America's economy.
Didn't say failing, but how big should it be?
Okay,
The
well,
more-
that's now you're talking about how much money they make.
What's good for Amazon, because that's the big thing right now, is when you've got all of this wealth concentrated in very few companies, it may not be good for America.
Right. No, I think, set that aside. The criticism here boils down to some people believing Bezos should not have contact with Trump or shouldn't work with Trump administration. I think that's his
right.
point,
And that's been that's what everyone said when he showed up at the inauguration. They're like, wow, I didn't realize that he was going to be so.
Can I just say, there is a difference between not working with an administration and perceived groveling. And there are people who criticize him and Zuckerberg and Musk and others for groveling. And there's a difference between the two.
Yeah, I know they get criticized. I don't think they have. That's not how I see it, but they've got criticized.
That dinner they had?
Sure.
Now, let's talk about what he said on the face of it.
Yeah.
Is President Trump more relaxed this time around?
I think he is.
He rage tweets in the middle of the night.
It doesn't mean he's relaxed. He's not calm. He's calmer.
I don't think he's calmer. He is.
The man woke up in the middle of the night and said, he woke up on Easter morning and said, I'm going to destroy your civilization. Seems pretty calm.
Kind of not calm.
Got a ceasefire on it?
Hi, I'm BD. I'm calling in from Maui. I want to talk about Jeff Bezos when he called Trump more mature and more disciplined version of himself. But here's the thing. Last week, Trump just called a reporter a dumb person because she pointed out the ballroom budget doubled. He called another female reporter piggy, stupid, ugly, and incapable. And that just happened within the last few months. So when Jeff is saying that Trump is more calmer, what he's actually saying is, I need government contracts from this administration. That's the real headline.
Where are you? That is
I know. We're totally distracted by...
I'm in Maui right now on vacation.
Why are you talking to us?
No, we appreciate it.
Oh my
I
God,
have to
it's
say
so
one
nice.
thing though.
What?
My mentor is Dina Ruiz Eastwood, and she loves you, and she would be livid if I didn't tell her that she wanted to say hi.
I love her. But
you want to know who's Dina?
She's she runs an animal rescue, right?
Yes, she was. Yes,
and she's fabulous. She's really fabulous. Say hi back. Ciara Miller, all she does is bitch, bitch, bitch about Amanda and West. And so the reunion...
I'm sorry. In her eyes, someone took her man.
Yeah, whatever.
Right? So
it's not her
she's
man.
upset.
Not her man. An
not
ex.
her man.
An ex.
Well, she felt like there were still things going on. We're talking about Summer House, of course.
So now, after the audio leaked of the reunion, now they're releasing promos to make sure we understand Ciara is aggrieved.
Over the past 6 years, I have been your champion. I couldn't fathom that I would be sitting here pissed that you my ex. He wants to embarrass me. He wants to get his last little word, and I hope it works because he's with you despite me.
I think I need to take a second.
Okay.
Wes, you're gonna go after her?
You should go after your girl.
Get up and go after her, Wes. Be a man.
This is so weird.
Okay,
you have to admit, from a TV production standpoint, that's a good promo.
Okay, it's a good.
It is a good promo, and you get up and go after your man.
And he doesn't know what the hell to do. It's like, oh, these people. It's like Ciara is confusing West for the sofa he's sitting on because he is not
I have to step
property.
in. This is because this is so telling that this was not a real relationship to West. That this was just supposed to be a little fling with him and Amanda.
No, because you're saying that because he didn't go after her?
Because he didn't, and everyone is standing there
What's he supposed to do?
telling
He's
him
sitting
to do
there
it.
in the middle of a show.
Yeah, but this is who he's ruining all his friendships for. Like, go get your girl. I'm sorry, but that was very telling.
Okay.
Ciara popped out.
I'm done. I'm done. I can't wait for the reunion.
Same.
Coming up. Big drama on Baywatch set. Yes, because you know they're doing the Baywatch reboot, and there is a little competition about who's gonna be the quote-unquote Pam Anderson of the new class. Let's bring in someone who's been on the set of Baywatch with Pam Anderson, Donna D'Errico.
Be right back.
Big drama on Baywatch set. Yes, indeed, because you know they're doing the Baywatch reboot, and there, of course, is a little competition about who's going to be the quote-unquote Pam Anderson of the new class.
There are two contenders, and they are actual contenders, and there's some tension over it. That would be one Brooks Nader and Livy Dunn.
Yes, indeed. We've spoken to people on the set who say that there is, quote, tension because they have both been heard talking about, oh, who's the Pam Anderson? They say it playfully, I'm sure, but
it's not.
you know that they're
This is
serious about
this is career building. So Brooks is on all of the episodes. Livy is only in 3, we're told. So in that respect, Brooks has a pretty significant edge.
Livy, I think, has a significant edge when it comes to social media following. It was absolutely a sensation ever since her college days, and remains one. So which one will give you the lift to really be...
The lift, so to speak.
The lift, so to speak, to be Pam Anderson. You know what? What do we know? Let's bring in someone who's been on the set of Baywatch with Pam Anderson, Donna D'Errico, joining us now to talk about the Baywatch reboot and a new show that she's doing as well.
I just want to say, before we introduce her, this is not AI Donna D'Errico, because it doesn't seem like possible to me.
Pulled her out of the 90s.
Here she is. Hey, Donna.
Hi.
So what do you make of the drama? Now, when you were on the set, Pamela was still there, and she was, I'm sure, viewed as the queen of the set. So it makes sense that someone on the new cast wants to be queen, right?
This is the first I've heard of that.
Well, we're happy to inform you.
Yes, we are.
I mean, I guess so. If you're wanting to be compared to somebody, I guess it would be her. Sure, she would be like the epitome.
Who has the edge?
I wish I knew more about the actresses to speak in an educated way. I don't know. I don't know either one of them. They're both gorgeous. I don't know. I can't give an opinion on that.
Okay, we figured.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who knew you wouldn't?
I am fascinated. I want to talk about your show. I am really interested in this show that you've got on YouTube.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really into it. It's called Mythbound. It's a global investigative travel series where I travel to the actual locations behind some of the world's most famous myths, legends, and unexplained phenomena.
Give us the best examples so far.
Okay, well, I've done a couple on Bigfoot.
Did you go to Shasta?
Not yet. Why? Is he there?
Actually, where did you go for the Bigfoot episode?
Well, I went to. I've been to actually several places. Yeah, and next I'm going to be going to Oregon. But I went to the Rocky Mountains with someone who has seen a Bigfoot, I don't know, like 100 times.
I'm curious about this. I say that in Ohio you went looking for a giant frogman. That sounds terrifying.
It sounds really crazy, and I went there with a lot of skepticism because it sounds silly. But when I went there and I talked to them, apparently it was active duty police officers, 2 of them on 2 separate occasions, who saw it amongst other witnesses. And they gave accounts. One of them pulled out his service revolver and shot at it. And, I don't think that these are people that would make something up. So they saw something. What they saw, I'm not sure. But I did go there. I went to the police station. I asked for police records because I figured there would be something on record about these incidents.
Hey, Donna,
and they didn't, yeah.
It just occurred to me, how in the world did you end up doing this show? Like, no one would expect a Baywatch queen of the beach in the red swimsuit to now be looking for frogmen in Ohio.
I know. Well, the thing is, I've been in the industry a long time, and this is just another way of telling stories. I'm still acting. I wrote a feature that I'm going to be directing, and this is just a sort of an extension of that, and it's a more experiential way of telling stories. And I've been into this stuff, heavy into this stuff since I was a kid. I've seen some things myself, family members have seen some interesting things, and it's always fascinated me. And honestly, now with all of this, there have been people in the military who've gone before Congress talking about UFOs, and in a very real and serious way. And, that's just one example of how what used to be sort of taboo when I was a kid to talk about, because people would think that you're nuts, is not really like that anymore. I think that it's a different kind of atmosphere today about those kinds of things.
Hey, Donna, real quick, what year did you start doing Baywatch?
It was 96? 96? Yeah, 96.
When you're doing Mythbound, could you give me a call and let me know where you found the Fountain of Youth? Because I would be very interested.
You're so good for my ego. I need to hang around you more.
I'm serious. Oh my God, so it's on YouTube?
Mythbound,
It
new
is on YouTube,
episodes on YouTube. Everyone check that out, and good luck finding the Fountain
Thank
of Youth.
you.
If you find
like
it, please.
subscribe and all the things. Do all the things.
Indeed. Thanks so much,
You
Donna.
got it,
Thanks
Donna.
for having me on.
Coming up. Our intrepid team over in D.C. got Senator Tim Kaine and asked him about prenups.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kemsley, they're getting married. And right now they're considering which states have the most favorable prenup laws.
Be right back.
Yeah, we did this story yesterday.
Yes, about Taylor and Travis and the prenup that, if they get it, where would be the best place?
Because
to
the
get
states differ in terms of what enforceability, and there could be 6 different states, and it's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, our intrepid team over in D.C., TMZ D.C., got Senator Tim Kaine and asked him about prenups. Should this be something that just be a blanket thing for federally that they're all the same in all states?
One size fits all.
Mm-hmm. Here's what he had to say.
So, you know her and Travis Kemsley, they're getting married,
I'm
right?
a Chiefs fan. I grew up in Kansas City, so that I do know.
How's it going, sir?
Are you getting off here, base? No, that's one. Okay.
It's a confusing elevator system. Don't feel bad. Happens all the time, right?
Okay.
So Taylor Swift and Travis Kemsley, they're getting married. And right now they're considering which states have the most favorable prenup laws.
Oh my God.
You know, because it's like there's a bunch of places that they could get married in. So do you think, though, that prenup laws should be federalized? Like, what? No? Why not?
Absolutely. I think you should only federalize something when it is like really important that there be a national policy. And, you know, Virginia has different rules about a million different things than Kansas does where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I kind of think that that's a system that you set up to make sense, because then you learn some things. Well, this one state did something that we didn't do. And actually, that's good. And then you learn from it. And I think the notion of, you know, one size fits all for, you know, Washington State and Florida and Maine and California, I don't think it makes much sense.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. You know what that is? It's very Reagan-esque. Even though he's a liberal Democrat, that's kind of a Reagan principle, that leave it to the states.
Leave it to the states.
And kind of shrink federal government a little bit so they're not getting involved in all
And in
your
the case
business.
of Taylor and Travis, it's nice to have options.
Although
Right?
he does say at the end, they shouldn't stress over the prenup too much.
Yeah.
But don't you think deep down, Tim Kaine, you know, he's from Kansas City, he's a Chiefs fan, he's going to feel like they should pick the state that's going to be more in Travis's favor.
He wants to be reelected. He ain't going against the Swifties.
He's not going against the Swifties,
Fair.
indeed. Coming up. Well, the divorce between Dorit and PK Kemsley is getting very nasty. A photographer got PK out in Beverly Hills. He had a very interesting take on whether or not they're having money problems.
Be right back.
Well, the divorce between Dorit and PK Kemsley is from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Getting very nasty. They're fighting over their house, and there's talk that maybe there's going to be a foreclosure. A photographer got PK out, and he had a very interesting take on whether or not they're having money problems.
Quick question. Are you blaming Dorothy for spending too much money?
I'm on the phone, buddy.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, nice to see you, though.
hey, is that foreclosure is real?
Sorry, Robbie.
Can you tell us?
I don't think you're even allowed here, bud.
Are you really broke, or are you hiding money?
No, I'm richer than you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
While he was on the phone, he did take time to answer that.
By the way, that was not our camera
That's not
guy.
our camera
We
guy,
were
right?
not- Oh, that guy set himself up. The photo
He
guy
did.
set
He
himself
totally
up.
set himself
Oh
up
my
when
God.
he said that.
That was really awkward.
Awkward and real.
Wow. Okay, we will see you tomorrow.